Okay, in this video, we want to grab an entire row and a range of rows. So we can create a variable, let's call it row, and we want to set it equal to WS, our worksheet, and then whatever row we want. So just like we grabbed a column by calling, the letter, we can just pass a number for the row. And you'll notice these aren't in quotation marks. I said way back at the beginning of the course, Python hardly ever uses quotation marks with numbers. It's just the way it goes. So if we look at our worksheet really quickly, we see row 1 is this guy right here at the top. So names and favorite pizza. So let's go ahead and print out row and save this and see what we got. You could probably guess by now. We're going to get a tuple with Python objects in it. So we can loop through our tuple like we've learned to do many times already. So let's go for cell in row, print cell. So if we save this and run it, you could probably guess we're going to get a list of those objects again. And to get the actual values, just like always, we can call dot value on this guy. Save this and run it one more time. And we get names and favorite pizza. So we can grab any row we want. If we want the second row, we just pass a 2 through there. Run this. We see John and pepperoni, which if we check our spreadsheet, sure enough, John and pepperoni is row 2. So really easy to grab rows. And that's all there is to it. Now we can also grab a range of rows. So let's go row underscore range. And just like with other slices, we can designate what we want. So we want, let's say 1 through 8, right? So let's get rid of this. And let's look at our spreadsheet again. So instead of 1 through 8, maybe we just want 2 through 8, right? We don't want the headers. We just want the data. So let's change that to 2 through 8. And let's print this out. So save this and run it. Let's clear the screen here and start fresh. And we get a big, huge tuple again. And we can see there's a couple of different tuples in here. And this makes sense because there's, we've got 2 columns. So we would expect more than one tuple inside of here. And so let's start breaking this apart and looping through it. So let's go for row in row underscore range. So let's print out a row. Save this and run it, see what we got here. So we've got another set of tuples, and each one of them has, so A2, B2, A3, B3, and that kind of makes sense, our rows and columns there. So all right, so let's then loop through this again inside of here. So let's go for X in row, print X. And we can kind of probably guess what this is going to look like. A bunch of Python objects, sure enough. And we can get the values from each of those just by calling dot value as we always do. So if we save this and let's clear the screen and run it, we get our items. And these are paired up, John, pepperoni, Mary, cheese. Now this is kind of hard to read. We can create line breaks in here if we want. So inside of this guy here, we can go print. And then let's just go \n, that stands for line break. So if we save this and run it, clear the screen, and we get some spaces in here and it's sort of easier to read this. So John pepperoni, Mary cheese, Jason pineapple. We can check against our worksheet here. And sure enough, Jason likes pineapple. Steve likes mushroom. So we can come through here and see, yep, sure enough, Steve likes mushroom. And we're good to go. So that's how to grab a range of rows. That's how to grab an individual row. Pretty straightforward. Now, in the last few videos, we've been looping through these ranges, and it works, but it's been a little bit sloppy, to say the least, and a little time consuming. We have to do print a bunch of times to figure out what the thing is returning, how many tuples it's returning. It's kind of a hassle. OpenPyXL actually has some functions that help us to iterate through rows and columns. And we'll start to look at those in the next video.